Okay, good afternoon all. Today we will be starting with in detail and discussion about gate level modeling supported by Verilog. Till now we have studied about VLSI design flow, Verilog tutorial classes where we have discussed about different modeling style, and also you have done simulation classes, followed by we have completed the various data elements or data types and operators supported by Verilog coding constructs. Okay. So, now after that we will proceed with understanding the in detail analysis, or you can say in detail constructs available or supported by different modeling style of Verilog. Okay. So, out of that I am starting first with structural modeling. Okay. So, as I told last previous classes, that structural modeling actually is divided into 4 parts. One is called gate level modeling, where we use primitive gates, followed by module instantiation, then switch level modeling, and last one is your user defined primitives. Okay. So, out of these 4, first 2 are synthesizable, that means we can generate gates out of the if you will write a RTL code of these first 2, synthesis tool can able to generate gates, whereas next 2 are not synthesizable, but they are have their importance in simulations, okay, to verify the accuracy of transistor level design and all. Okay. So, now today I will start with the very simple modeling style of gate level primitives. In future classes we will go to other modeling style of the structural analysis. Okay. So, now till now in tutorial classes what we have discussed is we have just done AND, NAND, OR, NOR, XOR classes. Okay. Means we came to know that these are the primitive gates available. By using those we have designed full adder or different modeling style or different coding like decoder or other digital designs. Okay. So, now if you will see, there are actually 6 categories of built in primitive gates. So, that you have to memorize. Okay. And these are also easy to memorize, because these are day to day whatever we are using in our electronics, the same things they have been taken here as the primitive gates. Okay. So, as the name indicates, it is these gates are used to describes the various built in primitive gates available, which can be used to design any digital circuit. Okay. So, now what are the gates available is, first is your multiple input gates, which already discussed, like AND gate, NAND gate, XOR gate, all will always have a output as 1 bit, means output is 1, whereas inputs are many. Okay. And similarly, if you will see multi output gates, so if I can say buffer and NOT, we will see through diagrams, they are the 2 gates available under multi output category, where input is 1 and outputs are more. Like you can say, like buffer we used to use to increase current driving capacity, understood. So, similarly we will see, and tri-state gates are used for having 3 state logics like 0, 1 and Z. So, under this category we are having BOP if 0, BOP if 1, not if 0 and not if 1. Okay. We will see pull gates are used for pulling up to a node to a high voltage like 5 volt, or pulling down to a ground. So, similarly there are 2 supported gates are here, pull up and pull down. Okay. And the last 2 are must switches. So, to realize the switch level, actually transistor level design, switch level circuit, the corresponding transistors supported are NMOS, PMOS, CMOS. Okay. Both combined to give you CMOS, then RCMOS, RNMOS and RPMOS. So, we will see what is R. Okay. R stands here for resistive, because sometimes if it is an a ideal NMOS, then when control signal is high, then directly output will take the input value, but if it is not that ideal CMOS, then there will be one resistance will be there. Okay. So, that resistance is also represented in Verilog coding by using RNMOS, RPMOS or RCMOS. So, they have tried to model all the whatever transistor and its corresponding behavior in terms of these gates or standard primitive gates. Okay. The last one is bidirectional switches like tran, if 0, if 1, RTran. So, these are there where like NMOS, PMOS, I can say these are unidirectional. So, from left to right it will go, bidirectional will go in both the side. That go means the data will travel, either you go from input to output or output to input. Okay. So, these are the standard gates available, we will see in detail. These are easy modules to understand, so and also to memorize. Okay. So, the syntax as already we have done. So, I have written a generalized syntax here. So, syntax here is first is your gate type. So, you can in place of gate type you can use any of the gates whatever I have listed in the previous slide you can use. Then after that this is your first gate type, then second you can define the delay I told. So, as gate is there will be always inherent propagation delay will be there. So, delay has to be defined. So, delay again as it is written in square bracket, delays are optional. So, if you will tell that my gate does not have a delay and let us say you will design a code which is for an ideal circuit or ideal design, then you can make delay as 0. Okay. But delay provision is there. So, by using hash symbol we pass the delay in terms of constant like hash 2 or hash 6. So, that has to be written after the defining the gate. After writing down the gate you have to write down here like hash 2, then the delay will be there. Okay. After that you have to specify the instance name. So, as the square bracket indicates that sometimes instance names are also optional, you write or not write is written here, it is optional. So, we have certain example where instance names are not given, but it is easy to understand because if there are 1000 number of AND gates in a, or let us say at least if 50 numbers of AND gates are there in the design, if you will instance it, then you will able to understand A1 is which one, which AND gate, A50 is which AND gate. So, in that case it may just help you to understand which AND gate I am just checking and assigning the corresponding input and outputs. Okay. And finally, the terminal list. So, the connection of those gates. Okay. So, now also I have told in tutorial classes. So, instead of writing if you are having 10 gates. So, you have to write down one by one separated by semicolon, or you can write down all the same thing in a single one construct separated by comma. Okay. So, this is that example where your gate type will be defined once, but instance name and other things has to be separated by comma, then finally you put a semicolon. This is a single construct, this we did in our lab classes. Okay. So, now coming to multiple input gates. Okay. So, as the name indicates, they will always have multiple inputs, there is no restriction of inputs, number of inputs, it is always one, more than one only. Okay. But one output is fixed, but one or more inputs. Okay. So, AND, NAND, NOR, OR, XOR and XNOR, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these 6 only supported under this category. Okay. So, what you can do is the syntax is multiple input gate type, any of this, the instance name, and here I told that you have to always take output first. Mostly in gate level modeling style, always you have to remember when you are doing the assigning the ports to the corresponding in syntax while writing the coding, output should be always first. So, if it is a multi input gates, then output is only one. So, they have written only one output, but there are many inputs. Okay. Understood. So, output is always fixed. So, a few examples they have taken, and like this is AND with A1, out 1 is my output, in 1 into are my input. So, in each case you see out 1 STY here, STY is my output, bar, CAR, SAR, all these things are representing 3 XOR gate. So, it is to show that if you write down this code, you synthesize the code, you will get right side gates after synthesis. Okay. And you observe that all the outputs are written first, and in the last we have not given any instances. Understood. So, this is a simple discussion about multi input gates. Now, coming to the truth table, obviously as these are the gates. So, we have to understand the truth table. Some of these already we have discussed in data type case. So, for OR it is same, if any of the input is 1 means output is 1, this the came here also, and rest of the case like 0 0 means obviously it will be 0, and rest of the case you just remember that the output of a multi input gate can never attend a value of z. They do not have a tri-state logic, they always have a 0 1 or x, means it is also will give you 3 state only, no 4 state value. Okay. So, that is why you will find that if z is here, z is here, ultimately you are getting x here. So, nowhere you will find in the table z, but if we will see in tri-state gate case where controlling are there, if control is off it will be high impedance, at that time we will find z in future slides. So, OR is same, NOR is just opposite, if 1 it is 0. In XOR case if both are same then 0, here both are same 0, in rest of the case it is 1, rest all are x. Okay. And in XOR case if both are not same then only it is 0. So, it is 1 0 it is 0, 0 1 it is 0, rest these two are 1 and rest all are x. Got? Okay. So, this is very simple to remember. Then coming to multiple output gates. So, under multiple output gates we are having buffer and NOT, two things are there. So, the syntax is same, multiple output gate, then instance name, then as I have told output first, and here it is multiple output. So, all outputs should be written first, okay, till out 1 to out n. Lastly, I will have only one input, because all these things are having only one input only, okay. And here I have written one input, whereas outputs are many. Okay. So, syntax or example is, so you can see this input A buff and NOT. So, you can say this is required to increase your driving capacity of a design. So, in that context you can use all these gates. So, if you will see buff B1 is the syntax, here NOT N1 is the syntax. So, output first means let us say fan 0, fan 1, fan 2, fan 3. So, all these are my output and input is clock. So, sometimes you can assume that if you are giving a clock to a design and there may be a loading. So, in order to avoid those loading you can use the buff. Okay. So, these are buff, and only NOT case will have inversion of the buff. Buff it will take, like you can say if buff 0 is 0, 1 is 1, x is x and z means x. Here in this case it is simply opposite, 0 is 1, 1 is 0, rest both cases are x x. Okay. So, this is multiple output gates. The next is your tri-state gate. So, in this particular gate we are having buff if 0, buff if 1, not if 0, not if 1. So, this 0 and 1 indicates if they are the this would be control inputs. If it is 0 then the data will pass, if not then it is high impedance. So, here we may have a 3 state 0, 1, also we may have high impedance, apart from x may be there. Okay. So, so the syntax is, so here it is used to model the 3 state drivers. These gates have one output, like you can see one output, one data input, one control input. So, these are the by default 4 numbers of gates supported in tri-state gates. Okay. So, same syntax, then instance name, mean gate instance name as output. Here you have to, is a bit different, output always first, followed by the input, followed by the control. So, this you have to remember while writing the code. Okay. So, syntax is there, buff if 1, BF1, dbus, mem data, strobe. So, it is my output, this is my input and this is my control. So, what it will do is in this case, so if we will create a buff if 1 it is written. So, if it is buff if 1, my output is dbus, okay. Input is memory data. Okay. So, as it is written 1, so it is something like this. So, this is my diagram. So, my strobe is my control unit, understood. So, as it is 1, here there is no bubble, wherever it is 0 there is a bubble. Okay. So, that means it is active low input. So, in this case what will happen, if strobe is equal to 1, then output dbus is equal to memory data. So, it will, if it is 1 it will directly pass the data, else that means if you can say strobe is equal to 0, then dbus is how much, high impedance Z. That is the simple analysis. So, accordingly in this case it should be 1 to pass the data, here it will be 1 to pass the data, but inverted data not. Okay. Here it should be 0 to pass the data, and here if it should be 0 to pass the inverted data. Okay. In opposite case, you have to remember that the state will go to the other state called high impedance. Okay. So, this is the table, truth table for this. So, here what we have done, data is there, we have also taken the control unit. Okay. So, we have taken control unit. So, if you will see BOF if 0, understood. So, BOF if 0 means what will happen? So, if control is 0, then data will pass. So, see, this is control. So, whatever data is there, that is passed here, buffer. Okay. So, when control is 1, data is directly Z. Okay. And rest of the case is combination of this 0, if you will see 0 Z, it is 1 Z, understood my point? This is combination of these two, okay, and in this case it is X. Okay. So, accordingly you can remember the table, it is easy to memorize also. And similarly, if you will see not if 1 here, so if it is 1, then the control will pass, but the inversion value has been passed, okay, and Z is output is X, okay, and if it is 0, it is entirely Z, means high impedance, understood. Okay. So, control signals are given and corresponding data are given, you can observe the corresponding table. This is the truth table, okay, for tri-state gates. Next is called pull gates. So, under pull gates we are having two gates supported, one is called pull up and another is called pull down, and these gates are have only one output, they do not have any inputs. That means, a particular bit is like they are like you did a CMOS inverter by using CMOS logic. So, in the top I am putting a VDD and bottom I am putting a ground. So, now that VDD has to be pulled up to 1 and ground has to be pulled down to 0. So, at that time we can use pull up and pull down. So, in next class I will write down a code for CMOS as well as 2 input NOR gate we will see. So, a pull up gate places 1 on its output and pull down gate places 0. This is a simple analysis. So, you can take syntax as pull up gate, pull gates, pull up or pull down, then instance name, then only one output. So, that means here it is like this, my power is my one node you can say in a design, which has a syntax of PUP and it has pulled up to a value of 1, that is your high voltage of the design, means what is your maximum voltage like 5 volt you can say. Okay. So, this pull up gate has this is the instance with PUP and power PWR is pull up to 1, understood. So, similarly, the next or last two are your MOS switches and bidirectional switches. So, let us say first is your MOS switches. So, as the name indicates, it is mostly switch level modeling of your structural design is done by using CMOS, PMOS, NMOS, all these gates, or you can say representation of transistors in primitive gate library of the Verilog. Okay. So, here PMOS, NMOS you know it is your NMOS, it is your PMOS. So, it has 3 terminals and these are called as unidirectional switches. So, whenever appropriate control signal will be given respectively in NMOS and PMOS, the data will travel from the input towards your output. Okay. So, in this case we have to give active high, and in this case you have to give active low in PMOS case. Okay. So, the data flows from input to output, and if you can also able to turn off it. So, that means it will also have a state of Z if you are not giving appropriate control inputs. Okay. So, in this case if I will give a 0 here, then output will be becoming Z, okay, because the switch will, this NMOS as a switch it will behave like a off switch. Okay. So, the syntaxes are like get type, instance name. So, here also the output is fast followed by input followed by the control input, right, and you can just see PMOS is the gates available, P1 is the instance name, big bus is my output, small bus is my input, and this is my control signal. So, in this case I can say like if my let us say I am writing GC for get control is equal to 1, then my output is your big bus. So, big bus is equal to small bus, okay. Else like in means it is equal to GC equal to 0, then my big bus is will become Z, okay. So, it is a unidirectional switch which may have a high impedance if you are not giving appropriate control inputs at its control C signal, understood. The last one in okay, another MOS switch is there which is called CMOS, what we have discussed. So, CMOS is there, also RCMOS is there. The difference is that in CMOS case we are assuming that there is no resistance exists once the conduction will start from left to right, okay. So, if appropriate input signals are given at N control and P control, okay. But in RCMOS case we may assume that there may be a bit resistor is present here. So, the signal strength will be decreased, understood. So, if understood my point. So, that is what called resistive version of the CMOS RCMOS, okay. So, if you are having certain situation in transistor level diagram where you do not want a ideal CMOS or ideal NMOS or PMOS, at that time you can use RCMOS, RNMOS or RPMOS, okay. So, to that modeling that they have kept all these transistors in the primitive gates. So, that is why they have written here in bracket RCMOS, that means it the same syntax will stand for CMOS as well as RCMOS. Instance name, here you have to remember your output always first, this one, then followed by input, followed by the N control first, then the P control, okay. So, this is the syntax you have to remember. So, the same thing we have written here. The only thing you have to you might be in confusion that this CMOS is actually not the representation of an inverter. This is you can say it is like a transmission gate, okay. So, this CMOS is just overlapping of PMOS NMOS which may represent a transmission gate. So, this is what is being supported in Verilog coding. So, if you want to build mux out of this or XOR out of this, then you have to accordingly design the circuit by taking this only, okay. It is not, do not be confused, CMOS here not always in Verilog style, it is not CMOS inverter type thing, it refers like a transmission gate, okay. The last one in this context is your bidirectional switches. So, the bidirectional switches supports this TRAN, RTRAN, TRAN if 0, RTRAN if 0. So, these bidirectional switches unlike your NMOS, PMOS, here the data flows in both the ways, okay, and there is no delay when the data propagates through these switches. So, here there is no delay, if you will find, you will never find a delay here in everywhere cases, other cases here also delays may come, but here in all the cases I have not written delay in earlier cases, but in this case also you will never find delay, okay. So, the only difference is that RTRAN and TRAN both are just same function, but they have supported two type of data type or two type of primitive gates for bidirectional switches. These two are only used for bidirectional data transfer, like like you can write down RTRAN instance name signal AB. So, either you write anyone in fast or last, that does not matter, it depends upon your circuit design, okay. So, signal data will go to signal B side and signal B side will go to signal A side bidirectional, but when it is coming to RTRAN 0 and RTRAN if, at that time it indicates, similarly we discussed like BOF if 0 and BOF if 1. Here it indicates that if your control is 0, then data will pass, if control is high, it will go to again high impedance, okay. So, this is all about your bidirectional switches supported under gate level primitives. So, now we will discuss about gate delays. So, in gate level primitive standard syntax we have seen that we have to first write down the gates followed by delay, then instance name followed by output first and then input. Okay. So, depending upon if there is a buf if 0 or buf if 1, then we have to give appropriate control signal for data transfer. Okay. Now, coming to gate delay. So, it is no doubt it is the same as your propagation delay inherited during your manufacturing of gates. So, whatever signal is passing from the input to output, so in that the delays will be added. So, the gate delays are specified in the instantiation itself. So, like this we can see like gate type, gate underscore type, it can be any of the gates we have discussed in the earlier classes. Then you have to give delay. So, delay I have put in a square bracket indicates that it is optional. So, if you want you can give delay, if you only want to have a ideal case, then in that case no delays are also allowed. And as a note you can remember that delays are not synthesizable. Okay. So, delays are there to only replicate the propagation delay which is used only for simulation of the gates. Okay. So, after synthesis tool never creates any corresponding hardware for the delays. Okay. Delays are non-synthesizable constructs of Verilog SDL. Okay. So, after delay is over you can give instance name. We have seen that instance name is also optional. So, if you will give instance it is better readable. Then you have to give the terminal list. So, this I discussed, the delays are specify the propagation delay of the gate. So, if there is no delay are specified, then the default we can take it as a 0 gate, 0 delay. Okay. So, delays are classified here of 3 values. One is called rise delay, second is called fall delay, third is called turn up delay. Okay. So, we will first see what are these. So, rise delay is associated with a gate whose output transition to 1 from another value. So, if you will see in the right side, the rise delay is the delay where my output is 1 and this 1 may be have done the transition from 0 or x or z. So, that means if you are approaching towards output is equal to 1, then that will be treated here as a rise delay. So, it is rising towards your high value, high logic value of the design. Okay. Similarly, fall delay is associated with the gate output transition to a 0 from another values. So, that means here if you will see if it is 1 or unknown value or z is there. So, out of this if you are the values are falling down to 0, then those amount of delays are called as T fall or fall delay. Okay. In similar fashion, turn up delay is something where my output is transiting towards high impedance or Z. So, turn up delay will only exist in the tri-state gates like buff if 1, not if 1. In those gates we may have turn up delays. Understood? Now, finally, there is another delay is also there, though I have told there are 3 types of delays, but there may be a chance that my output may take a form of unknown, that is x. So, that delays is also called as TOX. Okay. So, in this case this delay is associated with a gate output transition to unknown value x from another value. That means, I told that if there is a AND gate and one of the input of AND gate is x, then my output will become by default x. So, at that time whatever delay is incurred to give give x as an output is called as TOX delay. Okay. But while writing the syntax for the gate delays, in this particular delays we have to define only 3 types of delay. One is called rise delay, fall delay and turn up delay. Okay. So, depending upon these 3 delays, the transition to x delay, which is called as TOX delay, will be specified. So, there is a table. By seeing the table we can find out first if I have specified how many delays here. So, a delay specification may contain 0 delays, that means no delay, or it may contains 1, 2 or 3 value specific. Okay. That means, there may be a chance that in this delay space I can specify only 1 delay, or 2 delays or 3 delays. Okay. So, we will see what are those delays. Okay. So, now depending upon these 3 values, the transition to x delay will be evaluated, right. So, now if you will see, this is a table where your rise, fall, TOX and turn up delays are given in row wise, and if there is no delay, then all these delays will be 0. So, if you will see the example here, example not N1 q bar comma q. So, here not is the gate. If you will synthesize it, you will get a NOT gate which output is q bar and input is q, and the delay is 0 because there is no delay is specified. Okay. So, if 0 delay is specified, then my all the delays are 0, like rise, fall, turn up or transition to x delay, all delays are 0. Okay. So, this is one example. Next example is NAND hash 6 out in 1 comma in 2. So, this after hash only we used to define our delays. Okay. So, NAND hash 6 out comma in 1 comma in 2. If you will synthesize this, you will get a NAND gate whose 2 inputs are in 1 and in 2 and output is out. Okay. So, now we have to specify here, if one delay is given, then now what is this delay actually. Okay. So, here if one value of delay is given, let us say d is the delay, then my rise delay is also d, fall delay is d, TOX delay is also d and turn up delay is t. Understood? So, that means if hash 6 is given, my rise delay, fall delay both are now 6 time units. Okay. So, by if I have written this line of syntax or code, then you have to assume that this NAND gate has a rise delay of 6 time units, fall delay of also 6 time units and transition delay is also same d. So, that is also 6 time units. Understood? But turn off delay is 0, that means there is no turn off delay, because NAND gate always either it will give 0 or 1 depending upon the inputs, or it will give an unknown value x, it will never attain a Z state, it will never attain a high impedance state. Okay. So, that is why there is no turn up delay. Okay. So, these 2 columns over. Then there is a, we can also specify in the syntax, like we may have 2 delays like d1 comma d2. So, in that case my rise delay will be d1, fall delay will be d2 and TOX delay and turn up delay will be decided depending upon the minimum of the d1 and d2. Okay. So, these are the how Verilog is modeled. Okay. So, accordingly this is will be helpful to you for doing the simulations. Okay. Delays are only there for simulation, they never create any hardware, means they are not synthesizable constructs. So, now if you will say example AND hash 3 comma 5 out in 1 in 2 in 3, that means it is a 3 input AND gate whose output is out and inputs are in 1 in 2 and in 3. Okay. Now, in this case as 3 and 5 is given d1 d2. So, my rise time is 3 time units, means rise delay, fall delay is 5 and it is AND gate. So, there will be no turn off delay and TOX delay will be minimum of 3 comma 5, that is equal to 3. Okay. So, this is if you are doing certain simulation of AND gate, till now you might have done only by taking one delay. So, if you are taking 2 delays or 3 delays, then you have to, as per this table, you have to see your result will vary. Okay. So, if 3 and 5 is taken and if you you may get TOX delay as 3 only, not 5, it is minimum of d1 and d2. Okay. In the last case, there may be a chance that we may have 3 values of delay, let us say dA, dB, dC. So, rise delay is dA, fall delay will be dC, my turn up delay will be dC. Okay. Fall delay will be dV and turn up delay will be dC. Okay. And TOX will be evaluated minimum of dA, dB and dC. So, now that is why what I have done in example, I have taken not if 1, because not if 1 may attain a high impedance state, that is Z. Understood? Unlike all these states are only either they will take 0, 1 or x, 3 state only, but it may attain a 4 state logic like output 0, 1, x and Z. So, if 2 is my dA, then 2 will become rise time is 2 or rise delay is 2, fall delay will be now 8 and the third one is called as turn up delay. So, now that is what 6 time units. So, if you will find out T O x transition to x, it will be minimum of all these 3 dA dB DC, that is equal to 2 here, 286 minimum is 2. Okay. So, not if you have remembered, it is a NOT gate which is having one input, one output and one control input. Okay. So, as it is 1 is written, that indicates that if my input is 1, then my output is equal to NOT of the input. Okay. Else means if my input control input, like here, okay, in this case we can say like D out is my output, D in 1 is input and D in 2 is my control signal. So, if D in 2 is equal to 1, then D out is equal to D in 1, else or D in 2 is 0 means D out is equal to Z. So, while the gate will attain the output state of Z, it will take a delay of 6 time units. Okay. So, all these things you can see in the simulation window. Understood? So, this is how the delays are actually modeled in the Verilog SDL, and the same delays concepts are also there in continuous assignment statement. That is, in next class when we will see data flow modeling, we will get the same type of delay, and the same table will also be used in that delay. Like we used to write down assign hash 2 comma 4 y equal to x or b, we can write down that. So, in that case also this table will be very helpful. Understood? So, this is gate delay. Now, there is another construct is there, that is called your minimum, typical and maximum delays. Okay. So, Verilog allows you to, again there are 3 delays, that 3 delays can take a different forms also. Like you can specify, if you will see NAND hash, instead of 2 and 5, we have specified here 2 is to 3 is to 4 comma 5 is to 6 is to 7. Understood? Then P out is my output and P in 1, P in 2 are respectively my inputs for this NAND gate. Okay. So, in this case what happens that many times there may be a chance that you want to simulate the same gate for different delays. Okay. So, typically in synthesis construct we always have a minimum delay, maximum delay and a normal delay, which you can term as typical delay. Okay. So, mostly if 2 is to 3 is to 4 is given, so then you can imagine, just remember that 2 is my minimum delay, that is your rise delay, because 2 delays are specified, and 4 is my maximum rise delay. Understood? And in this case this is fall delay, because 2 delay is specified. So, one is rise, another is fall. So, in fall case 5 is minimum, 6 is typical and 7 time units is my maximum fall delay. Okay. The syntax is the same, just you have to just write down minimum colon typical colon maximum. You can use same 2 delay format or 1 delay or 3 delay format here. Okay. So, it will help you to just see that same gate how it is behaving while doing timing simulations by using test bench waveform. You can observe that the same delay is behaving or same gate is behaving in different types of delay, how it is behaving. Okay. So, to observe the response in with different delay values, this construct is there in the Verilog SDL. Okay. So, it is written that the selection of delays is generally done during the simulation run. So, that means simulations, if you are writing this type of delay to the simulation, you can generally what you did in lab in simulation, you are just using the GUI, graphical user interface, and directly you are getting some output. Okay. But in the background some commands are running. Okay. So, when you are trying to invoke the GUI output or double clicking in a particular you can say a tab or something like that. So, in that case what happens, actually in the background certain commands run in the console window, that is terminal window. Okay. So, in simulation by using commands you can specify to simulation window that you use the minimum delay as your delay parameter. Okay. Accordingly simulation will give you the result for the minimum delays only. So, at a time it will take rise delay as minimum and fall delay as the minimum, it can't take the mixed one, either you specify minimum, typical or maximum. Okay. And you can observe the corresponding output for that particular same design. Means in one construct you can see the different simulation result. Okay. So, this is about minimum, typical, maximum delays. Then one important aspect is there called arrays of instance. It is only supported in your gate level primitives. So, it is required like when repetitive instances are required, like in gates we are always calling many gates, like and you may call and many times. Okay. So, at that time to ease out the things, so if you require repetitive instances to be called many times, a range specification can optionally be specified in gate instantiation. Okay. We will see through example. It can also be done in module instantiation, because module instantiation also we call many times same module. Okay. So, the syntax for it just see, then we will go for the examples. First is gate type, it may be the same gate whatever we discuss, and then delays, then instance names. Here if you will see, instance name is not in a square bracket. Okay. So, that means instance name is here, it is mandatory, you have to give it. Okay. Earlier cases everywhere we have seen that instance name is optional, it is in a square bracket. Okay. So, after that you can give a left bound colon right bound, then list of terminals. So, all these are, some of them are there and some of them are optionals. Okay. So, terminals again it will follow to same output first, then input, then control, depending upon the what gate you are instantiating. So, if you will see the example, like I have written here like where 3:0 out comma in A comma in B, understood. So, that means my out is a 4 bit and in A is 4 bit and I in B is also 4 bit, understood. So, what I can do is I can take 4 NAND gates and call it by using out bracket 3, out bracket 1, understood. So, like that I can call 4 times. Instead of that, to make the things easy, they are having some syntax called NAND. Directly you write down the NAND gate, then G is the your instance name. Okay. Then after that 3:0, then out comma in A comma in B. That means we are creating an array here, and those whatever you are instantiating, for that we are creating an array. So, that is why it is called array of instances. Okay. So, that means either you write down like this NAND G3 out 3 in A3 in B3 comma, then it is like this up to G0 out 0 in A0 in B0 semicolon. Either you write down like this or you write down this one line, all are same. Got? So, that means instead of creating an array directly, you can instead of writing like it is 4 line you can write, but many times you may find that there will be 50 times you may instantiate a same module. Okay. So, at that time if same module contains the same input, same output and everything are same. Okay. So, we can refer it as an array. Okay. So, out may have 4 bit, in A also 4 bit, in B also 4 bit, understood. So, instead of individually writing let us say 40 times for the same module, directly you can just write down NAND G 3:0, then out in A in B. So, in this case you have to avoid this, individual bits has to be avoided, means you do not include individual bits while defining the terminal list, understood. So, those can be defined in the instances with an array. Okay. So, this is one example. So, if sometimes you will encounter such problem, it will be helpful to you. Okay. So, that is why as these instances are very much required to because this is equal to this. So, if I will not write G 3:0 here, then this will never be equal. So, that is why we have not given a square bracket here, that means instances are not optional in this case. Okay. Okay. So, after this I have taken 2 design examples. So, already we have done few in tutorial classes and full adder and master slave D flip flop in simulation classes by using gate level modeling. So, again to complete the in detail flow of the gate level modeling. So, I have included 2 examples here. One is called 4 to 1 multiplexer, easy one. Second one is a switch level gate. So, till now we have not done switch level designs like how to design a 2 input NOR gate by using switch level modeling. These two we will see, and this class will be end. Okay, so as this is a 4:1 mux, so it requires 2 inverter and 4 AND gate followed by 1 OR gate. Okay. So, whenever your this is S1 is 0 and S0 is 0, so output is equal to I0. So, that you know. Similarly, for 0 0 it will be I0, then 0 1, 1 0 and 1 1. So, in this case it may be I2, I3 and okay, it is I0, then it will be I1, I2 and I3. Again all these I's should be small, I have made it caps. Okay. So, first you define your module and give a appropriate module name mux underscore 4, then you can give the corresponding input output. Okay. So, if I will make a square bracket here, so whatever my input and output, those will be part of this module IO declaration. Okay. So, that is why we have done out I0, I1, I2, I3, S1 and S0. Okay. So, defining this first line is not that hard. So, you have to just take care that just putting a block level design, what are the inputs and what are the outputs. Okay. Then followed by I told after module you have to declare always certain declaration part. So, either you declare parameter, you declare input output or you declare the wheres. Okay. So, here first we have declared the output. So, output out, then I0, I1, I2, I3 and S1, S0 all are single bit inputs. Okay. So, next you have to declare internal where. So, here if you will see S10 and S0n and Y0, Y1, Y2, Y3, these are the intermediate wires which are connecting the intermediate nodes, which is not defined here. Okay. So, those forms the internal signals you can say, or internal wires or nets. Okay. So, that we have to decide and define. So, where S1n, S0n and where Y0, Y1, Y2, Y3. So, to differentiate between like this is one block, this is one block, they have defined it in 2 lines, you can define the same in single line also. Okay. Then after that you have to simply instantiate according to the syntax, then your code is over. So, first they have instantiated the NOT gate. So, I always told that output is first, then followed by input. So, NOT N1 N0 you can give, also instances are optional. Okay. So, if you do not want also not required, but in arrays of instance you have to give it, that is mandatory. Okay. So, after this S1n is my output here, then input is S1. So, this over, then S0n and S0. So, this part is over. So, these 2 gates we have instantiated, then you have to instantiate individual AND gate. So, you can give like this is A1, A2, A3 and A4 instance name. This is N1 and this is N0 instance name. Okay. So, AND A1 output first. So, Y0 first, followed by you can take one of the input is I0, then S1n and S0n. Got na? So, because see my when I am taking I0 as the output, then it will be 0 and 0. So, 0 0 here decoded to S1n and S0n. So, that means here S1 S0, if I will take 1 1, then S1n is my 0 and S0n is my 0. Okay. So, that we have taken. So, for 0 0 Y0, for 0 and 1 it is Y1, 1 0 Y2 and 1 1 Y3. This is well understood, you also have done in labs. So, this is how you have to instantiate 4 gates which are 3 input gates. Okay. So, everywhere you have to write down the output first. Okay. Then finally, the OR gate with instantiation, again output first, my last my output name is out, then followed by Y0, Y1, Y2 and Y3. Okay. So, if you write down this code, so it is a fully synthesizable construct. So, you synthesize it, you will get corresponding this output. Okay. So, generally if you will synthesize this code in let us say ASIC simulation tool, then you will get this RTL schematic, register transfer level schematic, and sometimes if you will simulate with FPGA, you may get 2 schematic, one is RTL schematic, another we called it as technology schematic. Okay. In RTL schematic you will get the same gates, but in technology schematic you will not get gates, because FPGAs internally constitutes of lookup tables, muxes and flip flops, which will form a one slice. Similarly, by taking 2 to 4 slices depending upon the FPGA technology, then one CLB is formed, that is called configurable logic block. Okay. So, technology schematic will give you LUTs, muxes and flip flops. They will not give you directly AND gate or OR gate, because AND gate, OR gates are implemented by using lookup tables there in the FPGA. Okay. So, basic building block is LUTs, muxes and flip flop inside FPGA, but if you will do ASIC simulation tool, you will get all these gates. Okay. So, next example is your design of a 2 input NOT gate using switch level modeling, right. So, so generally I told there are 4 you can say 4 methods of structural modeling is classified into 4 types. One is called your primitive gate level modeling, which we are discussing now. Second is your module instantiation, so that we will see in some future classes in detail. Third is your switch level modeling, and last one is your user defined primitive. So, out of this, switch level modeling and user defined primitives are not synthesizable. These are there only for simulation. Okay. So, that means if you are having like there is a analog circuit or let us say digital circuit in terms of like 2 input NOR gate. So, those you can just write down the code and simulate and observe how they are behaving. For their functionality you can check functional accuracy, okay, but they will never create any hardware after synthesis. Understood? So, that is why for switch level modeling as such will not cover any specific or separate chapter, because most of the switch level models like NMOS, PMOS, CMOS we have discussed in this module itself. So, what we have done is we have taken one example to learn the how to code for switch level modeling. Okay. So, I have taken a 2 input NOR gate. So, where my inputs are A, B. So, you can observe here NOR 1 is my module name, input is A, B and output is Y. So, this is another way of writing, like you can directly define in the module itself what is my input and output. Okay. Instead of that is why we have not written here separately input and outputs. Okay. So, now X is there, because if you will see in this design 2 NMOSs are here in parallel and 2 are in series. So, this node I have not marked here, this I have taken as one of the intermediate wire called X, okay, because this is not defined here in the module input outputs. Okay. So, internal wires we are defining as wire is equal to X. Then after that we have to specify that, because still we are at declaration itself, okay, declaration part has not over yet. So, for declaring we have to declare in the coding that which is my power and which node is my power line and which node is my ground line. Okay. So, if you will see here I have taken VDD node, which we generally took for power, let us say assume that 5 volt plus, and ground we may take as 0 volt. Okay. So, last class we have discussed, means in this module itself we have discussed like supply 1 VDD. So, there was a call, we can just define like supply 1 and VDD. So, when you are defining supply 1 as VDD, then VDD is termed as the, or it will be connected to the power line or power supply of the design. Okay. Similarly, when you are writing supply 0 ground, so it is ground node is connected to the ground of the design. Okay. So, these are the syntax I think we have discussed in element classes. Okay. So, this portion we have done the setup of power and ground lines. We have defined the A, B, Y, we defined the X. Now, we have defined the power and ground like VDD and ground of the design, which node is power, which node is ground. Okay. Now, next is easy, there are 4 modules, 2 NMOS, 2 PMOS. So, we have to instantiate it with appropriate syntax. So, in NMOS case, if you remember, my syntax is like first is output, then is input, then is the control, same for the PMOS. Okay. So, NMOS while I am instantiating, let us say this is A. Okay. So, if it is A, then let us say this is your N0 and this is my N1 instance name. So, NMOS I am calling with a N0 as your instance name. So, out is Y, okay. In is ground and control signal here is A. Okay. So, this is over. It is also that it is easy, but you have to just take care of the control signal here. Okay. Y is my output and ground here is taken as the input, because it was, we saw that it is a unidirectional gate, like we did like this only. So, it was like it is input and this is my output and this is the control. So, this we discussed in this module. So, here the same thing, just tilted and connected in parallel. Okay. So, similarly for other case we can take, because Y by default Y is output here, because there we will observe the output. So, I am taking the ground as input part here. Okay. So, now Y is again the output and B is the, okay, ground is my input part and B is my control part. Understood? So, now here also NMOS PMOS is there, means if it is control is 1, then output is equal to input, that you know. If control is 0, then output will become high impedance, that is your Z, or it will act as a switch in a off position. Okay. So, accordingly this NMOS or CMOS based NOR will work to input NOR gate. Similarly, for PMOS we have taken again Y as my output, X as input and A with P0 as the instance name. A is my control input. Okay. In other case, as this is series, so out input, output input, again output has to be connected. Understood na? So, output if will connected each other, then it will become parallel. Output and input if will connect, it is parallel. So, it is output, it is gate, means in control and input. So, again X has to be output, then it is input. So, X as output, VDD is your input and B is my control input. Okay. Understood? So, similarly, if any let us say it is here we are having 4 number of gates or 4 number of NMOS switches. So, similarly question may come that you may design a 2:1 mux or 4:1 mux by using NMOS logic or CMOS logic also, because here CMOS logic is equivalent to your transmission gate. So, mostly you know that transmission gate is very helpful in designing muxes. Your count of the transistor will be very much less. If you will do by NMOS or CMOS logic, it will take more number of transistors to design that mux. So, if it is 2:1, then 4:1, then it will be very high. Okay. So, similarly by taking these approaches, this type of approach we can design any switch level modeling. Okay. So, because here NMOS PMOS acts as a switch when the proper control signal is not given. Okay. So, here we ends the module called gate level modeling style. Okay. So, in this also we have tried to cover switch level modeling. Okay.